Hello there everyone, Mr. Hall here, and today we are going to be working on adding mixed numbers. Adding mixed numbers helps us model real life amounts of things. Food, distance, time, measurements, those are generally all going to be listed in mixed numbers. I have 2.5 pizzas and 4.5 pizzas. How many pizzas do I have altogether? Pizza seems to be a trend in all these videos. But the tricky part ends up being is what do you do when you have fractions in with your whole numbers? So I can do 2 plus 2, but how do I do 2 plus 2 and 7, 6 plus 4 and 3, 6? What do I do in those situations, okay? So what we have to do is add our mixed numbers. We're going to go ahead and regroup, okay? Now, when it comes to adding mixed numbers, we have two options, regrouping or not regrouping. Non-regrouping is extremely simple. If I have 2 and 2/4 plus 1 and 1/4, my first step is to go ahead. I'm going to cover up my whole numbers. I'm going to look at my fractions here, and I'm going to say, okay, 2 plus 1/4, okay? That ends up being 3/4, easy peasy. Now I look at my whole numbers, 2 plus 1, I end up with 3. Bada bing, bada boom, I am done. 3 and 3/4. Adding when you don't have to regroup is an extremely simple process. When it comes to when you have to regroup, things do change just a little bit, okay? So let's say I have 2 and 3/4, and I need to add that to 1 and 2/4, okay? I have a couple different options when it comes to solving this. What I want to do is first step is to go ahead, cover up my whole numbers, and look at my fraction and add that together. 3 plus 2 ends up being 5/4, okay? 2 plus 1 ends up being 3. So I'm done. I have a mixed number. However, my mixed number is, it's illegal. It's not allowed. It's no bueno. I cannot do this because a mixed number by definition is a whole number, and a proper fraction. What I have right now is a whole number and an improper fraction, so I can't do this. I'm not allowed to keep this way. I have to convert this improper fraction over to a whole number. So I'm going to do this, or a mixed number, whatever it ends up being. So I'm going to bring this over here to the side, and I am going to decompose my 5/4. I'm going to ask myself, how many 4s are in the number 5? I know for sure I have at least 1. 5 minus 4, I still have 1 remaining. So I'm decomposing that. I'm breaking my 5 up into a 4 and a 1. 4/4 plus 1/4. I come over here and I ask myself, okay, how many matches do I have? How many whole numbers do I have? And I end up with 1, and I end up out of room over here. So I bring that down. So I have 1 whole and 1/4. Perfect, okay? So 5/4 is the exact same as 1 and 1/4. I took care of this. I'm done with this. I can go ahead and cross this out. And for my final step, I'm going to go ahead and add 3 plus 1 and 1/4. Well, 3 plus 1 is 4. My 1/4 remains, and I get the answer of 4 and 1/4. So, linking it all the way back over to here, 2 and 3/4 plus 1 and 2/4 is the same as 4 and 1/4. Okay? Let's take a look at another problem and break it down again. All right, so let's take a look at 3 and 5/6 plus 2 and 4/6. It's hard to say sixths. Anyway, first steps you're going to do is you're going to cover up your whole numbers. You're going to ask yourself, what's 5 plus 4? Well, 5 plus 4 is 9. Bring my denominator down, 9/6. Then I'm going to go ahead and add my whole numbers, 3 plus 2, and I end up with 5. And immediately I look at this and I see I have an improper fraction, which is not allowed. So I'm going to go ahead and we have to get rid of it. We have to convert it. So I go ahead and I bring this over and I have my 9/6. Then I'm going to decompose this. I'm just going to pull my 6's out. So I ask myself, how many 6's? I know for sure I can do at least 1 because it's an improper fraction. So I ask myself, what is 9 minus 6? Well, 9 minus 6 is 3. I cannot pull another 6 out of a 3. So I go ahead, I bring that over. And now I just ask myself, how many whole numbers do I have? I draw my big 1 over my matches, my partners. And I have 1 whole number and a fraction, 3/6, 1 3/6. I'm done with my 9/6 now. I've converted it over. My final step is to combine these two back together, 5 plus 1 3/6. That's super easy. All I have to do is add 5 plus 1. 5 plus 1 is 6. I bring my 3/6 down, and I am done. 3 5/6 plus 2 4/6 is 6 3/6. That is my answer. Now, in 4th grade, it is not required for students to be able to simplify their fractions. They do not need to know that 3/6 is the same as 1/2. It is good practice, though. If they can do it, I highly recommend simplifying their fractions. If it's two even numbers, an even denominator and even numerator, simplify it, divide by 2, cut it in half until you can't anymore. Or if it's odd, see if you can pull the even out, or however whatever you have to do. It's good practice, and it will be a requirement later in their life, so it's good to just do it now and start getting that practice in, but it's not a requirement. It will not be on their tests for 4th grade. So yeah, that is adding mixed numbers together. Now, you also could convert each of these over to an improper fraction. Watch my previous video for that. Add them up, and then convert that improper fraction back to a mixed number. Again, I have a video on that as well. But this is so much easier. Regrouping this way is much easier. It's a lot less steps overall, and it's not terribly too complicated for them to be able to decompose the fraction and then re-add it back together. So yeah, that's adding mixed numbers together. Anyway, yeah, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Have a good one.